It is. All right. Looks like we are live. Everybody, welcome to our very first live event in this community and this program. I want to, as always, I love talking about success and the success that we have in this group, as a group, as individuals. And today I've got a very special guest. I'm sure all of you guys know who I'm talking about as she's right here. But Kelly, big welcome to you.
Thank
Kelly is just one of those people who joined and never looked back since. Kelly went through a lot of changes. Of course, me as the coach, I'm privy to all the struggles and all the wins that we talk about. And Kelly's story is so powerful that I just wanted to share with all of you guys. Hey, Eric is here with us live. And Kelly joined us, I believe, middle of November, maybe even just a little bit before that, somewhere in November.
Yep.
Today, she is almost 90 days, I believe 84 or 85 or something like that. And it's very close to 90 days. This is a big moment because things have changed. So I wanted to bring Kelly on. Kelly, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I am fantastic. So Kelly, exactly how long have you been, that's now about 3 months, right? Been
Yeah, I
practicing.
think this week marks it 12 weeks. I don't really keep track of the days, but I do believe we're at the 12 week mark
Yep,
this week.
absolutely. That's actually a really good sign, right? When you're not keeping track of the days anymore. So
Well, I'm
Kelly,
not looking
please,
back.
sorry.
I'm not looking back, so I don't really
Yes, exactly. So Kelly, what was the problem that you were having before you discovered Breathe Sober?
Oh, so many. We're only doing a short live here, so I won't go into all the stuff. But in a nutshell, I was very, very depressed. I was in a very, very dark place. And it had been building for many, many years, probably since childhood, honestly. I lived in an abusive home full of alcohol and drugs and violence and all sorts of awful things. But it was at the point where I was drinking every single day. If I took a Sunday off, I thought that was amazing that I had it under control. But I was drinking a bottle of wine every day, sometimes more. Sometimes I would vary it up with vodka or whiskey if I'd run out of wine, which I quite often did because I drank everything all the time. And I was feeling pretty much on the brink of suicidal thoughts. It was really dark. I was going to bed crying. I was waking up crying. I was crying throughout my day. And I had enrolled myself into some counseling, but it wasn't really doing a lot at that point. And then I happened to come across you on Instagram, and I listened to a little bit of the stories and what Breathesober was all about. And then you and I started chatting, and I decided to give it a chance.
Wow, I thank you for sharing that. That's some powerful stuff right there. You had reached a point where you were so unhappy that the darkest of all thoughts are circling in your head, and you've also been trying to work on it as much as you could. You mentioned that you had a counselor. I remember that conversation when we had first met. So what did that frustration feel like as you tried to solve that problem on your own?
Honestly, I felt trapped. I didn't feel like anything was ever going to change. I'm 56 years old, and you come to a point where you feel like this is what it's been for the last umpteen years. I could say 10 years, I could say 20. Honestly, it's probably been most of my life. And I felt trapped, and I just really didn't feel like there was any way out. I didn't feel like tomorrow was going to get any better. I was waking up in the middle of the night with huge anxiety, even panic attacks. And I felt like there was no help. You hear about AA and all these other different recovery programs, but I knew their success rate wasn't great, and I really wasn't interested in checking into a rehab. So I really just kept each day just trying to stay positive, and believe it or not, through all that darkness, I am a really positive person, and I just got to a point where I just wasn't seeing the positivity anymore. It was just gone.
I know what that feels like. That frustration, that feeling of helplessness. Keep wondering, like, okay, I've been trying and trying, but is anything really going to change? And then it makes you wonder too, like as if there's something wrong with you, right? And
Yeah.
then you start blaming yourself that, oh, maybe I have, what are some of the best excuses? Not excuses, but some of the best things that we convince ourselves, oh, it's genetic. My grandma and
Yes.
grandpa used to do it.
Yes.
So
We're alcoholics, so they must have sneezed one day, and I must have caught it. Just the
yeah,
silliest things.
I
But
needed
they're
to
all,
sleep, can't
yeah.
fall asleep without it. I needed to socialize, I can't go out without it, right? These are so many of the stories that we tell ourselves.
And anxiety was huge, and I felt after I had a couple glasses that anxiety would die down. But what I didn't realize was that sure, it died down in the moment, then the next day it came back even stronger and stronger. So now you got to drink more and more and more often. So it was a vicious cycle that I really didn't see me getting out of. I really didn't.
That's again, I know exactly what that feels like. And anyone who's watching, if you are feeling like I'm also caught in a similar situation, don't worry. The solution is in front of you. So, Kelly, what was different about Breathe Sober once you got started after getting started, signing up, all that. What stood out for you? What was different about Breathe Sober for you?
Well, you, for one thing, I related to you right away. I just really did. You're very matter of fact and calm, and your aura, I'm all about auras and how I connect with people. And I just really, as I had mentioned to you before, when you first had messaged me, hey, it won't cost you anything to just have the consult with me. And my first thought was, oh, sure, what does this guy want? He wants my money. Just another scam. I didn't buy it for 1 second. But then 10 minutes of talking to you, I was like, oh, maybe I'll listen a little longer. And you and I talked for well over an hour. And by the end of it, there was something about you that I knew was legit. And then going forward with the program itself, I honestly could feel a weight lifting off my chest. I always felt like there was just a rhino sitting right here all the time. And within the first week of just breathing, journaling, meditating, I wasn't very good at meditating in the beginning. It does take some practice, but in my form of meditating, having the one-on-one counseling sessions with you, reading other people's stories, those who have already come and gone through this program as well as the ones just starting. After a week, 1 week, I noticed that I was breathing better. My anxiety was just that much smaller, and I didn't want another drink. I just didn't. I used to come home from work and everyone's got their routine. You take your dog for a walk, you do this, you do that. Within 10 minutes of being in the door, there was an ice cold glass of wine in my hand. And for the first time in longest time, I just didn't want one. So that was breathing really, if a craving would come along, and it would come on really fast. The cravings come, they're just there all of a sudden.
Right.
Ooh. And I knew I still had a half bottle of wine in my fridge from the day before you and I talked that I could have at any given moment. And I looked at it and I thought, no, I don't want it. I'm going to give this program a shot. And the breathing worked. The journaling worked.
Yep. Those are just what we start with, right? As you know, it grows and grows as the practice grows and evolves as we grow ourselves. So Kelly, take us to the moment, that aha moment where you were like, oh my God, this is actually working. That is working to solve your problem. What was that moment, if you recall?
I don't know that I had an aha moment. I had just had a lot of good days back to back. And I thought, what is this? I have dark days back to back where I'm putting on fake smiles and fake laughter and pretending that everything's okay. I think it was probably about 1 month in where I realized I really just was not going to look back, and I was happier. I could feel this lightness, and I was actually waking up looking forward to the day instead of dreading or just hoping I could get through the day without having a drink. And I started laughing, really laughing. There was shine in my eyes. People were, what are you doing? I said, I'm not drinking. I didn't go into too much detail, but I just felt lighter and happier. And for the first time in forever, I felt that there was hope, and I didn't feel trapped anymore. I felt very empowered.
Wow, I love to hear that. I absolutely love to hear that. Just, I started this program, I'm not a medical professional who's like, let me do something else. It was from scratch. I knew that there's something in me that I need to get out, and this is how it manifested itself.
Because it was organic and authentic, so you get it.
Thank you. I've been there myself, right? I know the darkest of the dark situations.
Yeah.
I know all the celebrations. I know how our brain tricks us and all the walls that we put up for ourselves. I had to break them down myself over years of trying. So it is really amazing that dream that I had, now we're coming to 5 years, half a decade of since I got sober. I knew that this is what I wanted to do.
And thank God, I'm so grateful to you that you have done this, and all the people that you've helped and will help in the future. It's something to be very, very proud of, and I'm glad we met.
No, thanks. We still have some ways to go. It's only been a couple of months.
Oh, yes, we do.
So tell us now what life looks like now that the problem is solved and you're in a great place. What has changed for you, and what can you share with anyone who might be on the fence right now?
Get off that fence. If you think, if you're even questioning yourself if you have a problem, you probably do. So just, What does life look like now? Well, I get up every morning happy, whether I've only slept 5 hours or whether I actually get the 8 that Hamza insists that I get. I wake up happy regardless. I'm ready to start my day. I have energy. I start most of my mornings now with my exercises and then my breath work and then my meditation. And my meditation, I have learned that my meditation style is chant as well as grateful. I've learned that that's what I do. And so I just start my morning off grateful for everything that I have and everything that I don't have, and everything that's going to be brought in front of me. I'm excited to see where my life goes. And it's funny, when you start purposefully living happy and with positivity, positive and happy things come towards you. So my body's a little bit damaged from osteoarthritis, and no doubt the drinking didn't help with that either. And I'm a letter carrier, so I got to walk all day and lifting, and it's very repetitious. It's very hard on the body. And I'm having some problems with my knee. I've got osteoarthritis in the knee. Recently had some surgery in my shoulder. And one of my first days back to work, and I was kind of terrified because within a week I was going to be back out on the road. delivering, and I was offered a new position where I could stay inside and it not beat up my body, and I can retire with a job that I can do that doesn't cause me pain. So that was number one. Number two is I've lost 10 pounds. My liver is actually functioning the way it's supposed to now. And with very little effort, I'm starting to lose weight now. So I know it's detoxed. I have a much better relationship with my sons. You know, they were very, very worried about me, and they were very disappointed in me. And I can see the sparkle in their eyes every time they see me and they hug me, and they're always telling me how proud they are of me. And my marriage is improving all the time. So honestly, all the way around, everything is just improving. And the biggest thing though is outside of job and family and friends and all that stuff, I know I'm walking this journey for me. So this is about me. My marriage is going to get better. Your relationships are going to get better. But this is about me being happy with me and loving myself. And I definitely did not love myself. So that's where I'm at now. I'm pretty darn happy.
That's you just said it, right? You said a couple of things that you're doing this for yourself, and then B, that you're waking up every day happy and excited, and that's what it's all about. People ask me all the time, like, do I have to quit drinking forever? And my response to that is, why even go there? Just forget about that. Forever, not forever.
Yep.
Just focus on waking up happy and excited about life without any regrets. When you've done that a few times, then ask yourself, do I want to go back? Your answer is going to be no. So
No.
forget about the forever nature and that permanent nature, because we trap ourselves in our own box of, oh, I'm going to have to not drink forever.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I can do that. Dude, nobody can do anything forever. There's no forever. It's just in the moment. And if you are addressing the things that were making you drink so much in the first place, which kind of brings me to my next question, which is like, now would you say after almost 12 weeks that the very things that were driving the drinking behavior, the desire to drink for you, would you say those things have eased up or completely gone or healed themselves? What can you say about those things that were at the root of your drinking behavior?
I'm not entirely sure what the root of my drinking behavior was. I blame it on childhood and just life in this crazy world that we live in. So I don't know that I could pinpoint that. But what I do know is I address anxiety, anger, a difficult friend or a family member. I just address it with love now. That's my go-to. I don't have to be right. Yeah, I do. But like giving that up, I don't have to be right. I don't want to argue. I don't see the point in getting caught up in negative situations with people or even with myself. I look at everything with love now, everything and everyone. And that's how I approach every situation. So the anger has just dissipated. The anxiety has dissipated. I don't think about tomorrow anymore. I have to a little bit because tomorrow's going to happen. But I focus on the right now, what I'm doing, who I am. Do I feel good about myself? And I do. And that's it.
That is beautiful to hear. It seems like the first transformation, there's several transformations, but the main one, the big one, the mental transformation, the identity shift from I'm someone who would normally drink, but I'm not drinking right now, to I just don't drink.
Yep.
That's the big thing. Once we're there in life, then there's other transformations, physical transformation, weight loss and all that. There's a lot more. So we've only just, I would say, completed the first level.
And I know that, and I'm very excited to see. There's so much more to learn and to grow, and so much more to unravel. And I know that. Yeah. So that's exciting too.
Yeah, absolutely, Kelly. Thank you so much for taking that call, for putting your trust in me, for joining, and for really just never looking back and believing in yourself enough to go through those tough moments where things get a little shaky, to keep your resolve and to continue using the tools that you're learning in here, because this is more than just sobriety, more than just quitting drinking. As you've seen, this is the first step. Quitting drinking is the first step. The real magic of creating the life that you always wanted, that you know you deserve, the version of yourself, and what that looks and feels like. And I'm still evolving 5 years in, so this is an ever-going journey. Yep. I'm just so thrilled that, think of me for a second, I'm the luckiest person on this planet where I get to have these kinds of experiences day in, day out. So this is fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your story. I know it takes a lot to come out and talk about it all. Any last words that you would like to share with anyone that might be thinking about joining the program?
First of all, I want to thank you, because if you hadn't reached out to me, I wouldn't be where I am right now. And I'm very aware of that. Regardless of how much work I've put in, where I'm at right now, this has all happened because of you and the Breathesober program, for sure. Anyone out there who is struggling with your day, your relationships, your health, this program is ridiculously easy. Honestly, you're shocked. I promise you, within 1 week, you will completely view yourself differently, life differently. It gives you hope for the future. It calms your anxiety. It helps your relationships, and it just helps you feel good about yourself. Because if you're drinking or if you're doing drugs, you're not feeling good about yourself. So
That's for damn sure.
Absolutely.
Wow. Thank you so much, Kelly. That was wonderful. I hope to do more of these with more folks. Just get to 90 days sober and we can do this. That's
Right?
all, right? So that's the prerequisite, right? So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much to everybody that's watching. Eric, thank you so much for joining. Kelly, you as well. I'll post this. It'll automatically get posted as soon as I end it, and then really keep up the amazing work. You're an inspiration to us all, and I feel like everybody in here, especially those that are watching, we've had a lot of new folks join over the last couple of weeks or so.
I've noticed that.
So I hope all of you guys are watching, because you're all human beings. You're all human beings. You all have a nervous system. You all have lungs. You all have a diaphragm. You have it all. So you just have to learn how to use it, and that's what we will teach you here. Great. Well, thank you so much, Kelly. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
I'm going to. Take care, Hansa.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.